Hello, this is Retroburn with a Warhammer 40k how to remove mold lines video. So now I have fully stripped my miniatures and I've unboxed several Games Workshop boxes if you've been following me. So this time around I'm going to try sanding out the Warhammer 40k mold lines that you see in this figure. So guys, I recommend that if you're starting out in this hobby, you should buy yourself a cheapo magnifying glass like this one. So you don't have to invest in expensive ones. Just what do you call this? Buying stuff from, I don't know, Amazon, Shopee, or Lazada if you're in Asia. You can get this. I got this for I think a less than 500 pesos, so that's going to be very cheap. This is a cheap magnifying glass, but with it, I have noticed that my second hand, my pre-owned Dire Avengers have mold lines. They've got lots of Warhammer 40k mold lines. As you can see here, it's in his helm, it's in the back of his arm, it's on his legs right here, and also why I'm recommending buying magnifying glass, especially if you're a 41-year-old like me, because I just noted that there's this bit here. It has broken off, but it's a fragment that I need to remove. But of course, I'm not going to cover this in this video because let's just stay on the topic, which is how to remove mold lines for Warhammer 40k miniatures. But bringing this closer to the phone, not zooming in. Here you go. You can see the mold lines right there. So these have to go. These really have to go. Because I think if you're going to paint this white, the lines are going to be very apparent. Oh man, it's not zooming in. Why is this? Oh, there you go, there you go. Okay. So it may not be apparent at first if you don't look at your figures through a magnifying glass, but once you do, you will notice these details. Anyway, for this video, I have, because this is my first time doing it, like I've said, this channel is a repository of me making my way through this hobby. And just for the sake of your curiosity, I bought 2 sheets of sandpaper. Is that what they call them? And this one is 600 grit. Is that the term, grit? And this one is 1200. So the lower the number, the coarser it is, and the more aggressive it because this one, if you think of the mini sand particles as teeth, so the more coarser the teeth, it's going to be more abrasive. So because I like living on the edge, let's test this 600 grit sheet of sandpaper on his helm. So let's go. So this is a little experiment. I don't recommend you doing this. Yeah, it's bad. It's bad. So let's just test this 1200 grit. So yeah, that's one thing solved. Do not use 600 grit. Maybe 1200 will do. Because now he's got a flat forehead. Look at that. I actually met a friend in the hardware store when I was buying this, and he said, "Don't use 600." But I'm just a hard-headed mule carved out of granite. But yeah, it's all for fun anyway. This is just a pre-owned Warhammer 40k miniature. And one thing that I've learned is be careful about buying secondhand things from eBay if you're very OC about details. Because wait, I'm going to show you after I roll this up. As you can see here, there's a dollop of super glue, and it's covered his entire arm. So once we paint this, all the detail there is going to be obscured. We're not going to see that. So that's one thing to keep in mind too when ordering things off eBay. Anyway, gently. Man, it really made a mess out of his head. Jeebus. Sorry about that, Mr. Dire Avenger, sir. Although I don't think it's going to show once we paint this thing. Because, yeah, the curvature is still there. So, yep, I don't think that's going to be apparent. What was going to be apparent is the mold line if we didn't remove that. Maybe just 2 swipes? I don't know. So just gently, gently. Not like the last time. There you go. You know, I should have brought a brush along. Or a saucer filled with water so we can just scrape off the excess plastic bit. There you go. One swipe was just enough to. Okay, wait. There. Gently. Here we go. Did we murder his face? I think it still looks fine. Although we've flattened his forehead a bit. Wait. Let me rub off the excess plastic. Oh. It's not too bad. I think he'll live. There you go. I think there's still a mold line on his mask, so we'll keep doing that. Let's be more aggressive this time. But we're not removing it. So maybe something along, if there's sandpaper that has a grit that's maybe 800 or 900 grit. How did we fare? It's gone, right? Yep, I think it is. Okay. Yeah, it's gone. The mold line's gone. Although we definitely did a number on his forehead. So 600 grit is a no-no for plastic Warhammer 40k miniatures. So now we're going to go on this part right here. Oh man, that's quite a lot. I mean, that's quite the ridge right there. I really don't think I can do this without this magnifying glass. Okay, that's better. Okay, it's gone. Making progress here. So maybe I'll just wait. The angle is kind of tricky. I think I need to saw perpendicularly to the mold line rather than doing parallel swipes. Yeah, defo better. So 1200 grit cuts it. Just don't use the 600 one. because that's going to be very aggressive grit, and if you're not careful, you're going to start weathering away at, like, look at this. It may not be apparent, but I can see from here that there's I've misshapen this helm. Won't be apparent if you don't know what you're looking for, but as the owner can really see that, yep, I did a number on his helmet. Maybe I shouldn't have folded it. So his elbow part is now largely devoid of that annoying ridge. There you go. Although his forearm still has that mold line, so let's get to it, shall we? Okay, here we go. I'm not going to sand everything. Just going to show you the more problematic parts. The bottom of the shuriken catapult also has quite the ridge right there. There you go. We need to get rid of that. Yeah, what the hell. Let's do this. Let's do this! 600 grit. Maybe just a couple swipes. So maybe this thing does have its use after all. Ah, shoot! Okay, yeah, it's really aggressive. Don't do that. What? Yep, don't do that. Yeah, it's really too much. 600 grit is really too much. So anyway, just by watching this video, this is sort of how not to remove mold lines vid. Anyway, I hope this proves useful to you, not to, mistakes. So maybe the ideal grit would be, I think maybe it's in the 1000 or 900 range. I don't know, but if you want to play it safe like me, I mean, I'm not playing it safe, but as you can see in the video, 1200 grit is having a hard time removing the mold lines, but 600 is too extreme. You can see there, I really leveled his what do you call this? His forearm. So don't use 600. And I'm just this very stubborn dude. Why did I do that? Anyway, yeah, I think that's. Here we go. Yeah, his forearm is definitely effed, but the elbow part is solid. So let's move on to the shuriken catapult, the underside. That is. Here we go. So mistakes here are going to be very apparent. So let's take it easy. And I think several swipes is all you need. There you go. Largely, the mold lines are largely obliterated. Okay, that's cool, awesome. for the legs, let's do the legs, and then maybe we'll end the video after the legs, because we've already covered all that we need to cover. I mean, you basically get the point on how to remove Warhammer 40k mold lines from your minis, and how to not F up like me. So guys, don't use 600 grit. I should have heeded my friend's advice, and I should have also not proceeded to use the 600 grit after I just kind of made his forehead a bit angular. Although you're not really noticeable. There you go. If you just know what to look for, you will notice it, but to a casual observer, I don't think that our mistake is apparent. Although the forearm is really wrecked. So don't do 600 grit on your Warhammer 40k minis. So even with several swipes with the 1200 grit sandpaper, there's going to be remnants of the mold lines, so you need several passes. But of course, it depends on how much force you apply. But basically, the less force, the better, rather than going gung ho on it the first time, and then discovering to your dismay that you've deformed your mini. That would be very devastating. How do you pronounce that? Devastating. Okay, there you go. So I think we've effectively eliminated the mold line, right? What do you think? Selecting again? Yeah, we did. Compare it to the other leg. The mold line in the other leg is not so apparent for some reason. But of course, yeah, you can still see the Warhammer 40k mold line there. So, one last bit on his, what do you call this, on his calf. And then we're going to end the video. And I think a piece of his robes broke off. So, yeah. I didn't notice that before. So that came in when we ordered this Dire Avenger from eBay. Pre-owned one. Then we'll work on the Soul Stone, because even the Soul Stone has mold line. We're just going to do a very timid pass. We don't want to deform that. Oh, so gently. Okay, so yep, this has been Retroburn, and you've just seen this little experiment of mine on how to remove Warhammer 40k mold lines. So if you like this video, please share, like, subscribe, comment what I did wrong, what I did right. So this has been Retroburn. Stay cool, stay frosty.